This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. Hi friends, good evening. So in this Azure Databricks Master Program, this is our fourth session. In this session, we are going to focus on Azure free tier account creation. So how we can create the Azure account. Once we create the Azure account, how we can create the free tier subscription. Okay, what is subscription and what all things we need to know before we create Azure Databricks. All those things we will try to cover. So what we are going to focus today is we will learn how to create Azure account. Okay, because we need to have a Azure account if you want to create Azure Databricks. Next, not only Azure account, if you want to provision any service in Azure portal, you need to have a subscription. That subscription, we will have a different subscriptions. What is subscription? Is basically billing. Suppose if you have used Databricks for 2 hours, then you have to pay some $2. So all these $2, how you are going to pay is that particular billing will be added to subscription. You are going to make a payment to subscription. Okay. So we are going to see how to create free tier subscription. Free tier subscription means you will get some $200 for free. So how to get these $200 for free, we are going to see. But if you want to get these $200 for free, you need to have a credit card. So we will see today how to create this particular Azure account, how we can create. Once we create Azure account, how we can create a free tier subscription, we will see. Next, we will see once we have these two ready, once we have account ready and in account we have subscription ready, we can overview on Azure portal. So how to see all the services which are available in Azure and what all things we can able to do from the Azure portal. All those things quickly we can discuss. Then we are going to discuss what is subscription exactly and what is resource group. Okay. Next, we will discuss about what is location or region, because these three are very, very important if you want to create any resource in a Azure account. Okay, if you want to create any service or Azure, any resource in Azure portal, you need to know what is subscription, what is resource group, what is location or region. Finally, we will see how to create Azure Databricks workspace. Okay, so once we have Azure account and subscription is ready, and if you know what is subscription, resource group, location, by using all these three things, we can create the Databricks workspace. So today we will discuss on all of this. Let me go and show you how you can create a Azure account. See, so if you want to create Azure account, you have to access a URL called portal.azure.com. Okay, if you want to create a new account, you have to access portal.azure.com. If you want to log in, same URL you have to use portal.azure.com. Next, how to create free tier subscription. So if you want to create a free tier subscription with credit card, you need to follow 4 steps. That is, first you need to fill up your profile. Profile means general information such as your first name, last name, and your company name, your phone number. So once you enter phone number in first step, in second step you are going to verify that particular phone number. They will send you some, they will call you and tell you some OTP kind of number. So you need to verify this phone number with that particular number. Next, identity verification by card. So you need to enter your credit card and you have to prove that this credit card is active. How you are going to prove? Once you enter credit card details and submit, they will send a OTP. So once you enter OTP for your credit card, they will deduct 2 rupees. Okay, they will deduct 2 rupees from your credit card. So once this 2 rupees is deducted, final step is you just have to click on some agreements, terms and agreements. So once we have finished with these 4 steps, you will be able to see a 13,500 rupees in your account. So these are all things we will try to do in today's session. Okay. Any doubts in this particular slide? Any doubts?
Yeah. Only one question here. So
Yeah,
it is for 1 month, right?
exactly. So many same confusion. Debashish, please be in mute. I will answer your question. I understood your question. So many people ask me same thing because they are in a confusion whether this free tier subscription is 1 month or it's a 12 months. Remember, under free tier subscription, you are going to get $200. These $200 are valid only for 30 days. You can use all chargeable services and you can pay charges from this $200. After 30 days, what happens? You will not have any credits. These $200 will expire, whether you are using in these 30 days or you are not using in these 30 days. These $200 will expire. So after 30 days, you don't have any credit card, like you don't have any credits. Now what you need to do is you need to see only free available services. Example, there are some services which are available for free for 12 months. Okay, there are some services which are 12 months free, so you can use those services. But whatever services which are chargeable, those services you cannot use. The reason is very simple: you don't have any credits, because whatever credits you are getting, this $200, those will be available only 30 days. Okay, clear, Debashish?
Yes, yes, I'm clear. So, but this account is active for after 30 days. We can actually pay and use,
Yes,
right?
yes. What happens is, yeah,
Yeah, I
once
have
you ask,
actually tried with one of the account that I pay and use. That's why I'm asking. So, just like actually, this is
I will tell
also.
you, I will tell
We
you.
can.
So please be in mute once you ask your question. Okay. So some noise is coming. Okay, fine. See, what happens is once this 30 days is over, this subscription will be disabled. You need to understand, this subscription will be disabled. Whatever services you are trying to create with this subscription, you will not be able to create. Okay, you will not be able to create. So you need to find out what all services are free for 12 months. Those services you need to you can try to create. Those services you can able to create. But whatever services which are chargeable, you will not be able to create with this subscription, because this subscription is disabled after 30 days. Okay, clear now?
Yeah, yeah, I understand. What I would like to tell actually, after 30 days, I have just actually for testing purpose created pay as you go that particular part, and I have just actually created some Azure services I have just gone through. So
Yeah,
it
that
charges very less to me for testing purpose. I did, yeah, that I would
yeah,
like.
I understood. What happens is, after this free tier subscription, there will be a Microsoft will suggest you to upgrade the subscription to pay as you go. What is pay as you go? Pay as you go is nothing but you just use the services. Once you use the services, they will charge you. They will add those charges to your pay as you go subscription. Later, you need to pay from your pocket. Remember, you need to pay it from your pocket. So we are going to discuss what are the different subscription available. Everything I'm going to discuss in the upcoming slides. Okay. Clear? This part is clear. I will come
Yeah,
back
yeah,
to
clear,
subscription.
clear.
Let me come back to subscription. What is subscription? So basically, subscription is a type of cloud service you want to purchase from Microsoft. So why you need to purchase this cloud service? Because if you want to use any resource from Azure portal, you can use them. When you use all those resources, for each resource you need to make a payments. So all these payments, they will add it to this subscription, so that you will come to know how much you have to pay overall. So maybe you have done a lot of tasks, maybe you are giving multiple trainings, and as part of multiple trainings, in some training you are using machine learning, some training you are using Azure Databricks, in some training you are using ADF, in some training you are using Azure Synopsys. So what happens is you are creating multiple resources, but overall you want to know end of the month how much total cost. So how you will come to know? You can come to know by using a subscription, because all those charges will be added to subscription. Okay, next is, in order to take advantage of Azure cloud based services, you must have a subscription. What it means, if you want to create any service in Azure portal, you need to have a subscription. Next, within the subscription, resources can be provisioned as instances of many Azure products and services. What it means, if you want to create any resource in Azure portal, you need to attach a subscription to that particular resource. Okay, within the subscription only you are going to launch the instances. That is nothing but resources. If you want to create any resources, you are going to create these resources under subscription. Okay, next, it serves as a single billing unit for your Azure resources. Okay, it's a single billing unit for Azure resources in that services used in Azure. So whatever services you have used in Azure, for all those resources, this is a single billing unit. Okay, all that billing will be added to, see, Azure will add billing to its subscription. So all that billing will be added to subscription. Remember. Next. And Azure subscription is linked to a single account, meaning in a account you can have multiple subscriptions. As the Debashish said, in same account you can have a free tier, you can have a pay as you go, you can have some other subscriptions, Visual Studio. So some other subscriptions you can have in your account, but same subscription you cannot share between multiple accounts. Okay, meaning I have created my Azure account, Debashish has created his own account. Now whatever subscription I have, I cannot share this subscription with him. Okay, that is not possible. But in my account itself, I can maintain multiple subscriptions. Next, subscriptions with no spending limit. So there is no limit. As much as you want, you can spend. Such subscriptions are pay as you go, cloud solution provider, enterprise agreement. So these are the some subscriptions which doesn't have any limit. Next, subscriptions with a spending limit. You have some limit. If you go with Visual Studio, this will be $150 per month. Free trial, it's a one time you'll get $200. Now, how to create free trial we are going to see today. If you want to create a free trial account, you need to have a credit card. Okay, if you don't have credit card, you should have a student mail ID. It should be some university. Okay, californiauniversity.com, something like that. You need to have a student mail ID. If you have student mail ID, then you can able to create free trial. Second way is you can create free trial by using credit card. But what is this Visual Studio? Remember, this Visual Studio is available for the employees who are working in a companies. Those companies are partner with Microsoft. Okay, I will explain in another way. Whatever companies are partnership with Microsoft, okay, in these companies, whoever is working, they are eligible to get this Visual Studio subscription. So under this Visual Studio subscription, every month I'm saying, not 1 month or 2 months, every month they will get $150. Whether they are using or not using, every month it will be restored that $150. Suppose in this month I consumed $149, only $1 left, doesn't matter. Next month you will credit it with $150 again. So every month you'll have a $150. But I have seen many companies like TCS, Wipro, DXC, and some more companies are offering this Visual Studio subscription to their employees. Okay, any questions in this particular slide? Everybody got it? What is subscription? Okay, if no questions, let me go to the next slide. So what is the resource group? Remember, resource group is a logical container into which Azure resources like web apps, database, storage accounts are deployed and managed. If you want to create any resource in Azure portal, you need to group all the related services into one resource group. Okay, so what this resource group? A resource group is a logical container into which Azure resources such as web apps, database, storage accounts are deployed and managed. You can launch all these related resources into a resource group. Group means what? It is like grouping something, maybe multiple people. If you group, that is one team. It's a group of people. In the same way, you are going to group all the related services. That is nothing but a resource group. You are going to create one resource group. In that particular service, you are going to add all the related things. Example, when you launch Azure Databricks, backend, we have discussed in backend, it is going to launch a blob storage, it is going to launch virtual network, it is going to launch security group, and many more things. Okay, network watcher and many more things. When you create a cluster in Azure Databricks workspace, it is going to launch a virtual machine. So all these things are going to happen in backend. So you are going to launch Azure Databricks in backend. It is going to launch blob storage, virtual network, a security group. But where you are going to see all these things, if you launch this Databricks workspace in a resource group, in that resource group, all dependency resources also will be created. If you go to resource group, you can able to see all the backend created services as well. That we are going to see in today's session. Next, Azure resource groups are logical collection of related resources such as storage accounts, virtual network, virtual machines to deploy, manage, and maintain them as a single entity. So you have created multiple services, but you want to maintain as a single, as a single entity. In that case, you are going to launch all those resources into a resource group. Next, when you create any resource in Microsoft Azure, you are required to assign it to an Azure resource group. Okay, not only assign it to the Azure resource group, whenever you are launching any resource in Azure portal, that may be Azure Databricks, Virtual Machine, Azure Data Factory, Data Lake Storage, Blob Storage, doesn't matter. You need to attach each resource to three things. One is subscription, to add a billing, resource group to to identify the dependencies and to maintain the dependency resources. Okay, we need to have a resource group. Third one is data center. What is that location or region? What is data center? We will discuss. Okay, so it is must. You need to attach a Azure resource group if you want to access or if you want to create any resource in Azure portal. Next, users will utilize this structure for better governance and cost management for their infrastructure. Example, as I just said, right? You will launch Azure Databricks. You will think that you are going to pay only for Azure Databricks. No, you need to make a payment for your blob storage. You need to make a payment for your virtual network. All these things. How you will come to know how much you are going to pay? So virtual network charge and security group charge, Azure Databricks charge, blob storage charge, whatever is required to create Azure Databricks backend services, whatever is created, all the charges plus Azure Databricks charge, everything will be added to a resource group. This resource group charge will be added to a subscription. So from resource group also you can able to understand what is the total charges I need to pay for this particular resource group. Whatever services you kept it in. Example, you launch virtual machine and Azure Data Factory in resource group. Now ADF is 100 rupees per hour, and the next one is virtual machine is 200 rupees per hour. So when I ask what is the charges per hour for this particular resource group, how much? In this resource group, we have virtual machine and ADF. Virtual machine is 200, ADF is 100. 200 plus 100, 300. So when I ask what is the total charge I'm going to pay for this resource group per hour is 300, because in this resource group I have two resources. Next, resource groups per subscription is 980. You cannot create more than 980. Next, you can see you will have a management group. It's okay. Next, under that you will have a subscription. We are going to create subscription. But under subscriptions, you will have a resource groups. Even if you want to create a resource group, you need to have a subscription. When you have resource group, and in resource group, you are going to launch all these services. You can see database, whatever virtual mission, something here you can see virtual mission, storage, and okay, event ops, anything. Okay, whatever services you want to launch, you can see your resources. It's a resource group, it's subscription. By using subscription, you will create a resource group. In resource group, you will create a resources. But remember, when you are creating resource, directly you also need to attach this subscription, because charges will be added directly to subscription. Plus, it will also show as a it will show to the resource group as well. But don't think that same charges is applying to two places. No, it will directly add to the subscription. When you check subscription, you will come to know the overall total account charge, how much you need to pay. If you look at resource group, under this resource group, whatever resources we have, for those resources, how much you need to pay, you will come to know. Okay, any questions in this particular slide? Debashish, Manohar, Abhishek, Netra.
Malaya, like all the like resource group, subscription, tenanted, these things is handled by admin, right?
Yeah, in real time they will maintain it. Creation, everything they will do exactly. Okay, you are right. So these all will be created by admin. But now we are going to do practicals. If you want to do practicals end to end, we need to do. Okay, most of the admin part
Got
also
it.
we are going to do. Okay, because we, so in industry, in real time project, infra team, they will set up everything. As a developer, you just write a code. But here we need to set up environment, then we need to execute our development code, whatever code is required to execute. Okay, clear?
Malay, I have one more doubt. Like in Azure Data Factory, like whenever we're creating like any service, then we are using subscription or resource and like location, right? Databricks also
Yes.
we are using that one. Like where we are using these things.
Not only Databricks, Azure Data Lake Storage, Azure HD Insight. If you try to create any resource in Azure portal, you will see these three things. You must and should, you need to use subscription, resource group, and region for all the resources. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So my question is like in Databricks, while creating cluster, where we are using these things here.
When you are creating service, I'm saying where you are going to create a Databricks workspace. Databricks workspace will create
like,
from folder. Once you open Databricks workspace, inside you are going to create cluster. Okay, cluster is your ready. Once example, once you have mission ready, in the mission you are going to install Python. So all the things we are going to do later. But to launch Azure Databricks workspace, we need to attach all these three things.
Got it. Yeah.
Okay. Clear? Any other questions, friends? Okay. So now let me go to the next one. Okay. So what is location or region? Remember, Azure data centers are located around the world in strategic places that best meets the customer demands. So what is data center? So data center is nothing but the place where we have a physical servers, where we have a physical storages. Okay. So example, I have a computer. So this is my physical computer. In the same way, whatever servers we are accessing, those are what? Those are virtual machines. Virtually, we are able to see we are accessing from another system which we have, but we are not able to see that physical system. Where is that physical system? That physical system is available in some data centers. So what are the data? So how many data centers we have? We have multiple data centers in a different regions. We will see that. Okay, so there are these areas are known as a Azure regions and are placed at a distance of at least 300 miles or 480 kilometers from each other in case there is a natural disaster that would affect more than one region at a time. So ultimately what it is saying is, so when we are placing these physical storages servers, we are going to maintain these physical server storages in different places. So between two places, we are going to maintain at least 480 kilometers. Why? Because whenever some natural disaster occurs, at a time, more than two data centers, we will lose. Okay, because if any natural disaster comes, at least some distance, 100 kilometers or 50 kilometers, it will affect, right? So that's why for safer side, they are maintaining 480 kilometers between two data centers. So what is data center? Where you are going to host your physical servers, physical storage, all the physical things. Next, Azure operates out of 20 regions around the world. Geographic expansion is the priority for Azure because it enables the customers to achieve higher performance and it supports their requirements and preferences regarding data location. So all these are very simple explanation. So example, if I'm reading data from US, it will take more time. If I have a data in India, it will take less time. Why? Because my data is near to me, so I can able to access data quickly. In the same way, if you have more data centers, okay, then you can give the better performance to your customers, because maybe your customers located in a different countries, and if you have your data centers in somewhere and your customers are trying to access data in somewhere, example, all data centers available in US, but your some of the customers available in India. So for these people it will affect. Okay, the people who are accessing this data which is there in US, okay, you have a data in US, people are accessing from India, these people will impact because they have to access data from a long distance, right? For these people, if you can set up some data center near to them, meaning within India, so it will be easy for them to access the data quickly and they will get a better performance. Understood, friends? That's why these geographical expansion, meaning So data centers, increasing the data centers is a priority for Azure, not only for Azure, for all cloud providers. Okay, now next. Here you can see, so some data centers, there are 3 data centers we have in India, and we have some data centers here, we have some data centers here. So you can see data centers in different places. Okay, clear? So these are the slides which we have for today's discussion. So now quickly we will go and we will try to discuss about how to create Azure account. So what practicals we need to do? We need to see here today how to create Azure account, then how to create a free tier subscription with credit card. Finally, we will look into Azure portal, what all things we need to know before we get started with Azure Databricks. So once we know about Azure portal, then we can start creating the Azure Databricks workspace. Okay, so when I am creating Azure Databricks workspace, I will show you how we are going to use subscription, how we are going to use resource group location, all those things you will come to know. Okay, clear this? Any questions before I start with practicals? Any questions here? Okay, if no questions, thank you. Let me go here. As I said, so you need to use same URL, that is portal.azure.com, if you want to create a new account or if you want to log in into the Azure portal, portal.azure.com. Now it will ask you to enter your mail ID. If you have already created Azure account, then you need to enter mail ID. Now I want to create a new one. Click on create one. Okay, then here you can enter, if you have already mail ID ready, you can enter that mail ID. That can be Gmail, Outlook, or Hotmail. Okay, now example, I don't have mail ID also, then you need to get a new email address. Click on get new email address. So you can see Hotmail or Outlook, both it will support, and it will also support Gmail, but Gmail you need to create separately and you need to log in, okay, with previous step. Okay, now I am going to create my own mail ID, that is cloudpundit@outlook.com. Okay, now click next. Then I need to enter password. Let me enter password here. Click next. So what I have done, I just entered my mail ID and password. It will ask me to do some kind of a verification. Click next. So you need to rotate this one to the proper shape. So it is in a properly. Now click done. Okay, create is okay. This is how you need to create a account. I don't have anything previously. I have created a cloudpundit@outlook.com mail ID and I have given a password and I have verified. With these 3 steps, I am able to create a Azure account. So once you have created Azure account, now click maybe later that one. So now you can see start with an Azure free trial. So you can click on start. So this is how you can create a Azure free trial subscription. Or what else you can do? You can find a service called subscriptions from this particular portal. So subscription, click on subscriptions. So when you click on subscriptions, okay, see here you don't have any subscription. You don't have any subscription. I want to add. Click add. Okay, when you click add, it is going to suggest you to take one of the subscription. See here, it is again suggesting 2. One is free trial, second one is pay as you go. So as you have already credit card ready, or if you have any student mail ID ready, then you can go with free trial. If you don't have anything, then you can go with pay as you go. But I have some credit card ready. Let's go with free trial. Let's click on select offer. So for creating free trial, we need to follow 4 steps. One is, first thing is you need to enter some profile details, then you need to validate your phone number, credit card details, finally agreement. You can see 4 steps. Your profile. Second one is identity verification by phone, identity verification by card, finally agreement. So with this, you can see, Devashish, you are asking some question, right? You can see 12 months of free products. Get free access to popular products like virtual machine, storage, and database in your first 30 days. In first 30 days, those things. And for 12 months after you upgrade your account to pay as you go pricing, you can use these things. Okay, but 12 months of free products still you can able to use. But if you want to use services like virtual machine storage databases, okay, first 30 days we can able to use the subscription. After 30 days, this subscription amount will expire like $200. Then you need to upgrade to pay as you go. Okay, see 20 plus always free products. Take advantage of more than 25 products, including serverless containers, artificial intelligence that are always free. Get these in your first 30 days and always once you choose to upgrade. No automatic charges. You won't be charged unless you choose to upgrade. Before the end of your first 30 days, you will be notified and have the chance to upgrade and start paying only for the resources you use beyond the free amounts. Okay, so amount will not be deducted automatically. Don't worry about that. Okay, first let's try to enter profile details. Let me give my name. Okay, so mail ID it will take automatically. I will enter in my phone number. This is my phone number. Okay, click organization you need to enter. Let's enter Cloud Pandit. Click next. So it is going to call. Okay, I am going to say call me. I got a call now. You can see.
System. Your code is 3097. Zero 4. Once again, your code is 3097. 4.
So so phone will disconnect after telling 2 times, and you can verify code. So this is how you need to verify your code segment. Okay. You can see we are in a third step. We will make a temporary authorization on this card, but you won't be charged unless you upgrade. Okay, you will not be charged. Don't worry about that. So I will enter these details and I will share this screen once again. Okay, let me pause the screen for now. Yeah, so before that, before I enter details, you can see here what all details need from your credit card. Okay, so first one is card holder name. So whatever name is printed on your card. Next, card number, so which will have approximately, we are not sure. So for depends on bank, we may have a different number of digits, right? So on each card, so you have to enter card number, then expiry date, CVV. So later you can put any address here. Okay, whatever address you want to put, you can put. Okay, there is no restriction in this. Now, so let me enter and come back to you. Okay. Okay, So I entered my card details. Now I will just enter address line. You can just whatever you want to enter, you can enter something. You can say Guntur, or you can say Bangalore. Okay, Bangalore, you can say. Then here also you need to say Bangalore. Select city, Karnataka. You can select. Okay. Postal code, you can say something. Okay, 50100 something I can give. Then you can click next. So I have entered my credit card details and I have given some address details here. Now I just click next. See now what happens, it is going to redirect and see it said ICICI credit card, MasterCard. So it is going to give me some OTP to send. So I need to type that OTP here. Yeah, I have received OTP. Let me type the OTP. Okay, click submit. Transaction is being processed. Please wait. So once it is successfully deducted 2 rupees, then we will go to the fourth step. See, it is validated successfully. Okay, so these are the details. It is validated. Just click next. Yes, I want to go with these details. Suppose if you want a new payment like new credit card, then you have to add here. But I will go with these details which I've entered. Click next. So I will agree for these two things. Then you can sign up. So your job title, something you can say IT professional. What is your intended? Okay, something like that, and click submit something feedback center. Okay, so it is redirecting us to our account automatically once you submit your feedback. It's not mandatory feedback, but once you've done that, you will be able to see, you will redirect to your account. Okay, now we are here. Here you can see 13,300 rupees credit remaining. Now you go to subscription now. So this is a free trial. Okay, just click on this particular subscription. Click on free trial. Subscription. You can see current billing period from when to when. So just now we have created, meaning from today to next month 7th till this particular date, we have this particular free trial available. Your free credit expires on in 31 days. It will expire in 31 days. Upgrade to keep going with your account. So after 31 days, you need to upgrade this free trial to pay as you go, or to continue with Edu services, to use this Edu services. Okay, got it. So now we have created two things. One is Azure account we have created, then we have created free trial. So as we have free trial available, now what we can do is we can do like we can create the Azure Databricks. Before we create Azure Databricks, now I want to show you a few things in this particular portal. So first thing is right side, if you see, this is a profile. So in this profile, if you want to sign out, okay, if you want to come out, you have to click on sign out. Okay, if you want to sign in with a different account, you have to click here. Okay, next you can see here, it's basically a feedback form. Suppose if you have some issue or you want to send some kind of feedback to Microsoft, then you can send that feedback here. Next, this is a kind of a help. If you want any help, you will see some documentation links. By using these links, you can able to check those debugging options, all those things. Next, this is the settings. If you click on this, the background color and all those things, if you want to change, you can able to change. Okay, example, see black. Everything is black. Now white, something white. So I don't want anything. Whatever was there previously, I want to restore to like a default. You can go with. Next, this is notification. Whenever some new service added, okay, whenever you logged in, first notification comes is how much credit is remaining. This is the notification you will get whenever you log in. Okay, next. So this is basically if you have somebody has given you access. Okay, you want to go with that particular directory. So if somebody is given access to his account, you can go to his account and you can check from here. Okay, but we don't have nobody has given access to us because this is a new account which we have created. That's why we will not be able to switch to another account. Next, this is a PowerShell. Suppose if you want to execute any PowerShell or bash script, then you have to click on this. Okay, cancel. Now next, click on this. Here you can see create a resource. If you want to create any resource, you have to go to create resource. If you go to home, you can able to see all the, like if you go to home, you will be able to see this particular thing. Okay, what all services we have accessed recently, those will be available here. Next, click on this. Click on dashboard. Dashboard is you can create some kind of a dashboard. Here you can maintain whatever services you want to maintain. Okay, example, I want to create some resources in this particular dashboard. So you can, sorry, okay, you can bring those resources. Sorry. Okay, here new dashboard. If you want to create a new dashboard, you can able to add the new dashboard. Okay, and if you click on edit, what happens? Whatever services you want to add it into this dashboard, you can add. Example, a resource group I'm going to use frequently. I want to maintain in this dashboard. And next I want to use example, you can say something. Okay, frequently used services, you can try to find out from here, and you can see example help plus I want help. So all these kind of things I can put it in my dashboard. You can see this resource group or help plus the support. All these services will be available in this dashboard. Once you are done, you can click on done customizing. Okay, so now you can see help plus support. You can quickly click on these links. So if you want to create resource group, direct links are available. So from this you can able to create. But I don't want to be there in this dashboard. I will go and see all the services which are available in my Azure. Click on all services. Okay, now it will take you to all services. So we are in all services. Now if you look at here, if you click on all services, it will expand and it will show you all the services. But if you click on categories, example, I want to see compute related services, you can able to see. You want to see storage related services, you can see. You want analytics related services. Mainly we are going to focus on analytics. So Azure Databricks, Data Factory. So all these will be under a data analytics. Okay, you want some databases, go to databases. You can see Azure SQL database, Azure SQL, and some managed databases. So other things will be available here. Okay, now next thing is there is something called favorite list. So favorite list, why we will maintain? We will maintain this favorite list because we want to access these resources very frequently. Okay, I want database very frequently. I want to access database. Then I want to maintain all these services in a favorite list. Now what you need to do is, you can see here we don't have Azure Databricks in this favorite list. I want to bring Azure Databricks into favorite list. I want to bring Data Factory into this favorite list. How to do? See, click on this. You can go to analytics. This is the service. Put your cursor on that service. Then there will be a pop-up comes. On this pop-up right side, you will see some star mark. Select that star mark. It's nothing but a favorite mark. Okay. Come down and you see Data Factory added. Now I will go back to Azure Databricks and I will put cursor here. You can add Databricks as well. Azure Databricks. Come down. You can see Azure Databricks now added. Now you no need to go all services, search for Databricks or Data Factory. You no need to do all those things. If you click on Data Factories, then you will go to Data Factory section. If you want to create a Data Factory, you just have to click Add. Okay. Clear on this? Clear on this, friends, on portal? Whatever we have seen portal. Anybody have any doubts in this? Okay. Now let me show you. If you don't have any question, let me show you how to create Azure Databricks. So now I want to go to services. I already added to favorite list. Directly you can click on Azure Databricks. Okay. So before Azure Databricks, what you need, as we discussed, you need three things. One is subscription. Subscription is already available. Now I will go to resource group and I will create a one group. Okay, click add group. So as we've seen in a image, once you need to have a subscription if you want to create even resource group. So you can see subscription I'm using, then I'm saying my resource group name. What is my resource group name? You can say this resource group name, you can say Cloud Pandit iPhone demo. Okay, this is what East US. In East US, I'm creating this resource group. You can say review plus review. Okay, basically tags. Tags is nothing but, see what happens. You enter these details, resource group name and in which region, click tags. Tags is basically created by Cloud Pandit. Okay. So this is Azure Databricks. We are going to focus mainly. You can put Azure Databricks. Okay. Next, click review plus screen. See here tags created by Cloud Pandit services which we are going to launch in this resource groups are Azure Databricks. Then create it. So I request everybody to remember how many resource groups we have created. Only one. Okay, only one we have created. Now I will go to Azure Databricks. Let's say add Azure Databricks. Free trial resource group is this one which we have created. Okay, free trial, this is the subscription. This is the resource group which we have created just now. And workspace name, what is the name you want to give for your Azure Databricks? You can say Cloud Pandit EDB Azure Databricks. In which data center you want to launch this particular Databricks workspace? I want to create it in a East US. So data centers we discussed, right? So the data center we have to tell. So in all these places we have a physical servers and physical storage and physical things are available. Now based on whatever you have selected in that particular data center, Databricks will be created. Okay, next. So standard or premium. So this is pricing model. So how you want to make a payment. So if you go with standard, you will get Apache Spark and secure with Azure Active Directory. You can able to secure, but you don't have a role-based access control. Okay, so based on role you want to control some access, then you have to go with premium. Okay, but I have seen there is no much charges, so both are same. Okay, depends on your requirement, you can select both, any one of these. Okay, let's go with standard. Click networking. So whenever you want to connect to the on-premise services from Azure Databricks, you need to launch Azure Databricks in a virtual network. But currently I don't want to connect to the on-premise, so I'm launching Databricks outside virtual network. Even though I am launching outside VNet, there will be default virtual network. That default virtual network still it will create. Okay, we will see that. Next, click tags. Just now we have discussed something created by, you can give here, you can say Cloud Pandit and some other things. If you want to give, you can give. Next, click review plus create. It is validating all the details. Once it is validated successfully, you can create. Okay, so it is deploying. Let's wait for 2 or 3 minutes. We will see all this will be deployed. Meanwhile, anybody have any questions here, friends? Devashish or anybody? Manohar, Abhishek, Shushmita.
Malay garu, we can do database practice in community edition as well, right?
Yeah, that we will discuss tomorrow. Okay, Databricks community we will create tomorrow, and we will see the difference between Azure Databricks and the Databricks community. What we can do in Databricks community, what we can do in Azure Databricks, everything we will discuss. So whatever is possible, everything we will do it in the Databricks community. Whatever is not possible, we will try to do it from a Azure Databricks.
Okay, so how to decide the location? In the real-time project, like we are while creating the service, we are going to select the location, right? Like how it is decided. Like if the project related to India, then we are going to decide like location is in India, or like how we are going to decide the location?
Question actually. So for your question, the answer is very simple. So I already answered your question basically. So depends on where is your data. Your customer data is available in East US, near to East US somewhere. Then you can create Databricks cluster and the Databricks workspace, everything in East US.
Okay. Good.
If your data is available in India, you need to launch Databricks workspace also in India, and you need to create cluster also in India. It depends on
Clear.
where is your and where customer want to do processing. Yeah, if you want to select a VNet, we have seen one option, right? So in that VNet, you can able to select it. But as I have not selected, it will launch it in a default VNet. Abhishek.
Thanks.
Yeah, now we will see all the backend things that it has created. So as we discussed, it is going to create a network watcher. It will create a security group, virtual network, and blob storage for storing metadata. Okay. So it is going to create all those things. We'll see. It will launch different resource groups as well. Resource group we have created only one, if you remember. Okay. Come back. Let's wait until the Databricks is ready. Then we can go back and see what all things it has created. Now, if I move there, you will get confused. You can see your deployment is completed. Now, go back to resource group section. I am not opening even Databricks workspace today. Okay? See, resource group. In resource group, actually I have created only Cloud Pandit demo, but it has created automatically two more resource groups. In these resource groups, what it has launched, we will see. In this resource group, it has launched, it is provisioned network watcher. Okay, next, click on this resource group to see what all it has launched. You can see virtual network, security group, storage account. Now, once you open Databricks workspace, if you create a cluster, okay, or in a cluster you have mentioned one driver node, two worker nodes, total 3 missions. Those 3 virtual missions you can able to see from here. If you click on these options, it will show you all the virtual missions. Now, as we discussed, it's created a storage account. Now, if you click on the storage account, we'll see what is there inside. Click on container. So jobs, logs, metadata, root, and ephemeral. So you have all these things. As I said, it's an abstraction layer. If you try to open these folders, you will not be able to open because it will say access denied or something. Yeah. Because these things you will not be able to open. Okay. Any questions for in today's session? Any questions? Debashish, Manohar, Abhishek, Durga, Netra, Sushmita. Okay. Okay. So tomorrow we will see how to create Databricks community account and what is the difference between these two. In Databricks community, where metadata is storing in Azure Databricks, we already have seen metadata is storing in blob storage. Okay. And when we create a cluster, where the servers is going to launch in Databricks community. So we know in Azure Databricks, all clusters will be launched in Microsoft Azure. But if it is a Azure Databricks community, Databricks community account, so where servers is going to launch. So all those things we will see. What is the difference between these two? Okay, okay, that's all for today. Thank you.